So, namaskar to everybody. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Thank you for joining into the satsang today again. I'm sorry I got a little busy yesterday with other work from office and I had to postpone it to today. So, anyway, we have joined. So, today we will talk about one very important quality for those on the spiritual path. There are two stories actually, and they are both connected by the common quality of pride and lack of pride. So one is the story of Bhima. We all know Bhima was the second Pandava. Among the Pandavas, he was the second, the son of Vayu. So he was very strong. Then we know that during childhood itself, when Duryodhana had tried to poison Bhima and, thrown him, made him unconscious and thrown him into the water, then he had gone to the bed of the ocean, and there he had been given actually nectar, Amrita by the, the Nagas there, to the Nagaloka he had reached, and they had given him that potion, which gave him immense strength. So naturally, Bhima was very strong and he was very proud of his strength also. So once when the Pandavas, during the course of their Vanavas, the 12 years they had to spend in Vanavas, and then the 13th year was supposed to be spent in Agyatavas. So during that Vanavas, when they were traveling here and there everywhere, so as they passed by Badrikashram, that place, there was that place there was very beautiful, and there was a very nice smelling beautiful lotus. It came with the wind and it fell into Draupadi's hands. So smelling that sweet fragrance and seeing the beauty of that lotus, she wanted, she was overcome by the desire. She wants more of these lotuses. So she asked Bhima that please you find out where these lotus has come from and you please get me more of these lotuses. So in order to fulfill her desire, Bhima started walking into the mountains and into the forest, and he went in search of that lotus flower. Now, as he went walking by, there was one small narrow path, and there he noticed that there was one old monkey which was sitting or lying down there. And the tail of that monkey was placed in such a way that it blocked the path. Now, Bhima was quite a respectful person, and normally also we say, isn't it, that if somebody is sitting with their legs spread out or something, we should not cross over that person and walk and go. Instead, that person should move away their feet or whatever. Only then you should walk in that direction. So Bhima saw this monkey lying with the tail blocking the way, and so very respectfully it said to the monkey that, please, sir, you please move your tail and give me way. I want to walk and go further into the forest. So that monkey said that I'm very old, I'm tired, I don't have the strength. Please, why don't you only move that tail away for me? So Bhima said, okay. He thought, okay, what big deal, this monkey, as it is, monkey is very old also. So, like very casually, he bent down and he tried to, with his left hand, just like you pick up a small twig from the ground, or you pick up a stone or something. So very lightly, he just casually put his left hand and he tried to push that tail away. He noticed that he's not able to move it even an inch. Then he tried, with more strength, but still he was doing with his left hand only. So he put little more strength he applied, and he tried to move that tail. It didn't move. Then he said, okay, maybe with my left hand, it's not going to be enough. He tried with his right hand. Again, no movement of the tail. It was still lying there. And this monkey was, looking with a funny smile on its face. It was just watching all this, what Bhima was doing. Then he struggled with both his hands and with all his strength. You can imagine Bhima is said to have the strength of some 1,000 elephants or more than that. He's a person who is so great that he, could kill that Hidimba. He could kill Bakasura. There are so many instances where Bhima's strength has, protected the Pandavas. He used to carry Kunti Devi on his shoulder when she found it difficult to walk. So such is the great strength of Bhima. And then here is this small, tiny, frail old monkey, and the tail of that monkey is not able to lift. So he was like totally confused. And then he realized that, okay, this is not some ordinary monkey. It must be some, Devata or somebody in that form. So he immediately he got very humbled. He was so proud of his strength. He felt very humble and he told that monkey that, please, who are you? You please reveal your true form. I'm sure you can't be an ordinary monkey. So that monkey then revealed its true form and he turned out to be Hanuman. And he said, yes, I am like your brother, because Bhima is also the son of Vayu and Hanuman is also the son of Vayu. So this monkey, Hanuman, had come to test Bhima, had come to teach him the lesson that those who are really very strong should not feel pride in their strength. Whatever we have, feeling proud of that is not a good quality to have. So that is what Hanuman wanted to teach to Bhima. And then as a token of his respect or gratitude or whatever, um, the Hanuman, he blessed Bhima and he said, okay, I will adorn the flag of Arjuna. And when that Yuddha was to happen also, we know that the Ratha of Arjuna, for which Krishna was the, Partha, this Arjuna is Partha and Krishna was his Sarathi. So Krishna is also called as Partha Sarathi. So that Ratha which was drawn by Krishna, which was, moved by Krishna, on that Ratha there was a flag. And on that flag, there was Anjaneya, Hanuman, who was there on that flag. And that was yet another sign that definitely victory would be on the side of the Pandavas. So this is the story of Bhima and Hanuman, where we saw how, although Bhima was very strong, he was not able to move the tail of Hanuman because Hanuman had decided that he wanted to teach a lesson to Bhima. This is one story. Now there is another story which is of one of the very well-known disciples of Swami Ramanuja. This was a person called Kuresan. So Kuresan was actually originally called as Kuresan, and he lived in a place called Kuram. This Kuram is very close to Kanchipuram. Just 1 minute, please. Kuram is a place very close to Kanchipuram, and this Kuresan was a very learned person, not just very learned and highly scholarly. He had studied all the Vedas, all the Shastras, everything he knew. He was also born into a very noble family and very wealthy family as well. But despite all these things, this Kuresan lived a very simple life. He was married to one lady called Andal, and she also was equally simple and a very great devotee. So they had so much wealth. Now Kuresan had so much wealth, but he used to spend all his wealth to do charity, to do good to others. He would give away gifts to people. Then every day, he had a very big house and the doors of that house were very big and huge, and they would always be kept open, the doors. And only at night, after everybody had been fed, like whoever came to that village, they would all be forced to come and have food at the house of Kuresan. And only at the end of the day, in the night, when everybody had been completely fed and sent away satisfied, then the doors of his house would close. So that much kind of charity he used to do. Now, one night, what happened is that after completing that day's Annadanam, this Kuresan's house door, they closed. Now, it was very silent in the night. And we know that in Kanchipuram, there is the temple of Lord Varadaraja, and his consort is called Perundevi Tayar. So in that temple, the Lord and Devi, they heard this sound of the door closing. That it is said that the door had some bell-like thing. So they heard that bell sound, tinkling sound, and they were curious that what is this sound, loud sound in the night. So the person who used to serve Lord Varadaraja, that Archakar, that butler, his name was Tirukachinambi. So they asked that, what is this sound that is coming? So that Tirukachinambi said that this is the house of Kuresan. He is a very good soul. He does a lot of annadana and all that. And that is the sound of his house door being closed after he has completed all the annadana for the day. So both Lord and Devi were very happy. They said, oh, such a good soul, such a nice person. Imagine he's doing so much to help people. So we are very pleased with him. And they told Tirukachinambi that, please, tomorrow you inform him and ask him to come into our presence. Bring him here. We want to see this great soul. And we want to, express our this thing for him, that we are happy with his work and like that. So Tirukachinambi went to Kuresan the next day and he told him that, see, like this Lord Varadaraja and Perandevi, they have asked that you should come and meet them. So Kuresan said, why should I meet them? So he said, no, they heard your door sound closing and all that story. He narrated, Tirukachinambi narrated to Kuresan. Now, anybody else in that position, what we would have thought that, oh, we are being recognized by the Lord himself. How great is my fortune that we are recognized by Lord. Now I can go and stand in front of God. And yeah, because of my good deeds, I have this opportunity. I will go and take Lord's blessing. But you know what Kuresan did? What was his approach? He was, totally shocked. He said, what is this? I'm such a sinner. Now this Lord is seeing me and hearing my sound, and somebody has told him about my charity, and they are saying that I am getting this recognition because I'm doing charity. What is it that I have of my own? Whatever I have is nothing but what God has himself given me. So whatever God has given me, I'm giving. So how am I in any way responsible or to be praised for this? The fact that my door sound disturbed the Lord, the fact that Lord thinks that I am doing charity, that means I'm a sinner. And how much pride I have that my door is clanging so loudly that I dare to disturb the Lord. This was his spirit. And immediately at that point of time itself, he decided that having all this wealth and doing all this charity is of no use. Instead, he decided to go and offer himself, all his life, everything, to his Acharya, Sri Ramanuja. So he immediately renounced all the wealth. Whatever he had, he distributed it to the needy, and along with his wife Andal, he went to Sri Rangam and surrendered at the feet of his Acharya and said, I am yours. You can do whatever you want with me. As you want, you direct my life. Now, as they were walking to reach Sri Rangam from Kanchipuram, as they were walking and going, they had to pass through a dark forest. Now, when they were passing through that forest, naturally this woman, his wife, this Kuresan's wife, was worried. She said, what is this? It's so dark. We are alone. I'm so scared and like that. Immediately Kuresan asked her that, did you give away everything that we had? Or have you brought something with you? Have you brought something valuable with you? She said, why are you asking like that? So he said, no, it's only when we have something of value with us, when we are carrying something that we think is valuable, only then we have fear in our mind. So if you have brought something, give it to me. So she brought out one small, she had hidden in her clothes, in that baggage somewhere, one small golden cup or a plate like thing, which she had brought along because that is what this Kuresan used to have his food in every day. So she brought that out and she said, this is what I was carrying this because on the way if we have to eat, then I can put the food in this and give it to you and like that. So immediately he took it from her and he said, see, because you are carrying this only, you have this fear. I will make sure that there is no cause for your fear. And taking that cup in his hand, he threw it far away into the dark forest. And he said, now we have nothing which will give us fear, cause for fear. Now we can go ahead calmly. And they continued on their journey. This Kuresan later was called as Kuratalbar. So he is recognized as one of the prime disciples of Sri Ramanuja. In fact, when Ramanujacharya traveled to Kashmir because he wanted, to write a commentary on the Brahma Sutras. And for that, he wanted This Bodhayana Vritti, the original copy of that was in the Sharda Pita in Kashmir. So all the way from Srirangam, you imagine that those times, how difficult it would have been. No mode of transport, walking on foot, all the way from down south in Tamil Nadu to Kashmir. He went on that journey, Swami Ramanuja, and Kuratalvan went along with him as one of the prime disciples. He went along with him. When they reached there, they asked, they requested, and okay, that text was given to them. But later, the local priests in that place, they were very jealous that if these people take away our text, then we will have lost it. So after these people had traveled 1 or 2 days, they found that suddenly some soldiers have come. And who are those soldiers? They had been sent by those priests from Kashmir. They came, they said, you give that book back. And they took away that text again and took it away. So Ramanujacharya was now sad that, oh, I wanted to carry that text with me so that I could write a commentary on it. Following that text, I could write the commentary. Now I have nothing. What to do? How will I complete the commentary? Because that writing the commentary was one of the wishes of Ramanujacharya's Acharya called Yamunacharya. So when he realized this, and slowly from behind, Kuratalvar came there and he said that, Swami, if you don't mind, I have one suggestion. He said, what is it? He said, um, on these last 1 or 2 days, after you had gone to sleep, just out of curiosity, I had been looking through that Bodhayana Vritti. And by your grace, by the Lord's grace, I have it memorized fully in my head. What we can do is, I will recite it to you and you can then give your commentary on that and I will write it down. Can you imagine the level of buddhi, the level of intelligence, that kind of, nowadays we call it photographic memory, but can you imagine what would have been the grasping power of somebody that in 1 or 2 nights, he has for few hours looked through that text and he has been able to get all of it in his mind and he is able to reproduce it. So in all ways, this Kuratalvar was, having that which is considered the best. He had a very noble birth. People are always proud of the birth that they have, that they say either I am born into Brahmana Jati or I am born into a very aristocratic status. Where I am born, we have a lot of pride about that. Then we have pride of the wealth that we have. Kuratalvan had that also. He had so much wealth, but he didn't have that pride either. And most people are proud of their learning. Even if they are not proud of anything else, if they know a lot, if they have studied a lot, if they have got a lot of degrees, if they have knowledge of many things, then knowingly or unknowingly, they are proud of that. So these are the three prides that can actually drag somebody down. Pride of learning, pride of wealth, and pride of noble birth. But this Kuratalvan was an epitome of humility. He didn't have any of these three prides. And that is why he was considered as such a great person. For somebody who has nothing, to say, to develop the spirit that, okay, I have nothing, is not very difficult because you really have nothing. But if there is someone who has everything, that in the world's eyes is considered very great, and yet that person is humble, then that is the real humility. Just like they say that the fruits, when they are there on the tree, the fruits are the ones that hang down low. Similarly, the persons who are actually full of, good things, they always are humble. The tree which has lot of fruits is the one that bends low. The tree without fruits is standing tall and proud. The person who has a lot of things within them, they are the ones who are actually bending low. They are humble. And those who have nothing of value, they are the ones who are always proud. So what can we learn from these two examples? Firstly, We identify that whatever I have is because what I have done. I have achieved this by my efforts. Me, mine. This is what we are always thinking about. So the more we have things, we accumulate objects, we accumulate money, we accumulate riches, we accumulate knowledge, whatever we have collected, we hang on to those things, and our attachment to those things increases our tendency to feel proud, right? I have all this, and that is why I am great. That is the feeling that we have. Now, what is the way to overcome that pride? Understanding that whatever we have got is by the grace of the Lord. Whatever we have got is because of the Lord's will. And even if I think that I have done something and achieved it, then who gave me the power to do that? It is the Lord Himself. So understanding that whatever we have, whatever we are given, whatever we have achieved in our life, all that is only because of the Lord's grace. That He is the doer. That spirit is what will help us to stay humble. 1 minute. So, if we want to cultivate humility, we must always try and keep this sense alive within us that whatever is happening is by the grace of Lord. Whatever is there with me, it is because of His blessings. So, this ahankara, sense of I, and mamakara. I think many times people in Kannada colloquially we use the word mamakara to mean, good emotion or a maternal kind of instinct or something like that, a protective spirit or something like that. So here, when we are saying mamakara here in the Sanskrit sense, it is this sense that something belongs to me, mama, mine. So sense of mine. So this ahankara and mamakara, both these are big obstacles on the spiritual path. And we must strive to get rid of these. So how do we do that? Before we do any action, whatever action we do in our life, before we do that, we must pray to God for His help and support in doing that. And after that activity is over, we must offer kritagnyata and gratitude to Lord for helping me to do that in a proper way. When we start practicing this regularly, then that spirit will develop in us. That attitude will become more and more, stronger in us. That it is happening by the Lord's grace, and that it is happening because of His wish. So that is what we have to try and develop this spirit. So these were the stories and the lessons that we can learn from these stories for today. So there is one shloka in the Bhagavad Gita in the 16th chapter, the 4th verse, where Lord Krishna explains what are the qualities of a person who is having asuri pravritti, somebody who is having a demoniacal nature. So there it is told, Dambo darpo bimanascha krodha parushymevacha ajnanam chabijatasya partha sampadam asurin. So dambha means hypocrisy, the quality of having double standards, of saying one thing and doing another, or projecting something to people, but in reality being something else. That is a hypocrisy. Arrogance and conceit. So being proud of what you have, and that pride combined with the expectation that people should respect me for that. Anger, harshness, being rude to others, and ignorance. All these are the qualities of somebody who is having asuri pravritti. So how can we recognize, are we having asuri qualities or are we having daivi qualities, divine qualities? The more we get caught up and stuck in these qualities which are mentioned here, the more we are having rajotamo guna and we are tending towards the asuri qualities. The more we get rid of these qualities and we are able to go beyond these, we are developing divine qualities. So we must constantly be aware that this arrogance, this pride in one's achievements or in one's belongings or in one's status, all these are going to pull us down. So as we go ahead on the spiritual path of sadhana, we must make a conscious effort to reduce that sense of pride and to realize that everything is happening by God's grace. So with that, we will go on to the bhajan today. Usha, you are there? We'll sing.
Bheema wants to sing today.
Sure. Vibha, most welcome. Go ahead. Has she started singing, Usha? We can't hear.
Yeah, she's starting.
Okay.
देवादिदेव श्रीवासुदेव देवादिदेव श्रीवासुदेव देवादिदेव श्रीवासुदेव देवादिदेव श्रीवासुदेव देवादिदेव श्रीवासुदेव कावुमय्या नन्नु करुणालवाल देवादिदेव श्रीवासुदेव कावुमय्या नन्नु करुणालवाल देवादिदेवा ఈవేళనా అరుషత్రులను ఈవేళనా అరుషత్రులను ఈవేళనా అరుషత్రులను ఈవేళనా అరుషత్రులను నీవే పారద్రోలి నిజ భక్తు చేసి నీవే పారద్రోలి నిజ భక్తు చేసి దేవాదిదేవ శ్రీవాసుదేవ కావుమయ్య నన్ను కరుణాలవల దేవాదిదేవా నీ చేసిన పూజా ఫలము నీ చేసిన పూజా ఫలము నీ చేసిన పూజా ఫలము నీ చేసిన పూజా ఫలము నా పూర్వజుల పుణ్య ఫలము నా పూర్వజుల పుణ్య ఫలము శ్రీ జానకీశ శ్రీ జానకీశ ఈ జన్మమిచ్చి శ్రీ జానకీశ ఈ జన్మమిచ్చి శ్రీ జానకీశ ఈ జన్మమిచ్చి నన్ను ధన్యునిగా భువి చేసితివి నన్ను ధన్యునిగా భువి చేసితివి దేవాదిదేవ శ్రీవాసు దేవ కావుమయ్య నన్ను కరుణాలవల దేవాదిదేవా Thank you.
Very sweet, Vibha. Thank you so much. Yeah. So very nicely sung by Vibha. I think I'm not sure, but I think some part of that talked about how the fact that I'm able to do puja of the Lord is because of some Purva Janma Sukrita. Is that right, Nisha?
Correct, Akka.
Yeah. So we must remember that.
Shri Janakisha, ee janma michi. Matlab, giving this birth as a human, he has given me the honor or the opportunity to serve him.
Yeah, correct. Very nice. So it is true. In fact, the other day also I was listening to some pravachana where they were talking about how whatever we have in this birth, it is a reflection of what was our past birth. And whatever we do here is going to be reflected in our future birth. So we must make that sure that when we have got this Manava Janma, which is so very, difficult to get, for how many Janmas we must have been lost as plants and animals and God knows what. But now we have got Manushya Janma and we have got the, blessings that we are realizing that we need to be praying to God, we need to go towards Him. So we must make the maximum use of this Janma to ensure that we, get liberated now itself, so that we don't know what will happen in the future. So when we have this opportunity, make the maximum utilization of that. And it is the Lord's blessings that we are able to say His name. It is the Lord's blessings that we are able to chant His name. It is the Lord's blessing that we are able to find joy in talking about Him. And that is very much the path that we have to keep following so that we, reach Him ultimately. So let us hope and pray that Lord will bless us all to be able to do these things in a very nice way. So now it is time to offer Kritagnyata. Let us offer gratitude, Kritagnyata at the lotus feet of Sri Krishna and Guru for inspiring us to start and to join this satsang. Let us pray for their blessings and grace to always be on us. Namaskar. Thank you very much. Regarding the Bhagavad Gita satsang, we will start that probably after about 1 week's time. I'm a little busy with work right now and mentally not having the space or the energy to plan for the Gita satsang. So I will do that after about from Monday onwards. I'm going to be a little more free. So then I will think about it and decide and come up with a plan, and I will let you all know about that. And then we will start off very soon, maybe within a week's time, we will try to start that. Is there anything that anybody else wants to add or share?
One thing I just wanted to share along with what you were saying, Akka,
Yeah,
about
please tell.
getting this Janma as part of Punya from previous birth. They say that this is the only Janma where you have a possibility to have the God realization. So if you actually think about it, there are like crores of living beings, among which human is the only existence who is having that possibility of God realization. So if you think from that angle, we are all like really blessed to have this Janma. And as Vivekananda says, it's like a waste to see that so many millions and millions of people just wasting away their life behind sense pleasures. We are among both, I guess, because we are in this satsang. We are also doing the sense pleasures, but we also realize that, okay, we do have this honor of getting this life, and we are trying and struggling to get into the path of spirituality. So I just
Yeah.
wanted to share that, Akka. Thank you.
Yeah, very nice point, Tusha. Thank you so much. It's true. See, we at least know that even if we are human beings, we are continuing with our normal lives. So that hankering after pleasure will be there, because that is the part of the karma and the vasanas and everything which are hanging on to us. So that will be there. But realizing, as we say, for a short time, during the time that we spend in satsang, during the time that we stand in front of God, if we realize that we are blessed to have this and we must do sadhana, then carrying that remembrance to the maximum extent possible should be our aim. And by doing that constantly, we will get there someday. Thank you so much. So it's less than 1 minute left. I think the meeting is going to end. Thank you everybody for joining. Namaskar. We'll meet again next Tuesday. Namaskar.
Thanks, Akka.